Do you ever watch a prehistoric video on history, looking at earlier humans and thinking, wow, they had a lot less to think about? I often envy prehistoric humans or cavemen, and think about how, wow, they didn't even think about counting calories or um, keeping track of their macros or classifying themselves as all of these diets that'll keep them alive. They just had pure, basic survival instincts. So, in a way, we're spoiled because we don't have to deal with the fact that we could die every day. But sometimes the more that we think about, the more anxiety it could cause. And that's something I personally suffer with. So um, these days, it's impossible not to think about all the diet trends and the new things that are considered healthy with the new age we have in the media. I did a study or a survey, and the majority of people didn't follow strict diets. Um, some of the people cared about what they ate, and some didn't really think about that thing at all. Um, and in my survey, there were zero people on the new carnivore diet. So, I didn't find that too surprising. That is much more for extremists. In my experience, I've tried a couple different diets, and I didn't find any type of solution for what it was that I was looking for. Mainly wanted to feel better, have less anxiety, maybe improve my focus a little bit. Um, and as a side bonus, I wanted to look better. So there's a little bit of that with the diets that everybody wants to try. So I want to discuss today some of the new diet trends that are out today. Um, Explain how I approach dieting now, and compare both methods in transition. So let's take a look at some of these fun trends as we move forward. So first, when I was 20 years old, I started what was very, very similar to the ketogenic diet, which puts your body into a state of ketosis, and it starts looking for different ways to give your body energy, um, and all of these things that are not carbs, basically, which happens to be your brain's favorite source of energy. Um, my dad wanted to help me out and find a way to help me not be a bum and keep living in his house, so he took me to a dietitian naturally. This person set me up with expensive supplements, some enzymes, some probiotics, and all kinds of fun little restrictions that definitely produced a lot of results very quickly. So basically, he instructed me low fats, no, low carbs, and all healthy fats. And right away, it seemed to help me lose about 30 pounds in 2 to 3 months. It was pretty rapid. Um, and One thing that I remember with this is that the carb cravings never really got better. I would look at a cracker and I would want to go to town on that. It looked like the best thing that I'd ever seen in my life. A simple cracker. Um, and the first day that it did break me, I was on lunch break at my new job, and I went through two entire boxes of Twinkies on that lunch break. So that was about 16 Twinkies, and I'm not exaggerating that. So what I feel about this is that it was a good diet. It helped me lose weight, helped me not have anxiety. But the drawback was once I did start a more physically demanding job, the healthy fats that were supposed to be giving me energy were not cutting it, causing me to finally break. So every 5 years, some of these diets start showing more results and more evidence that they're actually not the best thing for you, which is funny because diets, the best thing that's healthy for you, seems to change like every 5 years or so. So let's take a look at Jack Crosby from Men's Health. I went through his article, and imagine Jack wanting to feel better and lose some weight and going onto the Joe Rogan podcast and finding that this carnivore diet is proclaimed to be very healthy. It's supposed to make you drop weight really fast, feel amazing. Um, and it was, of course, endorsed by Jordan Peterson, who is a highly renowned person. Everybody knows who he is. He found that when he finally went out to work out, doing the thing that he does love to do, he had zero energy. Said it was a complete mistake, that the lack of carbs absolutely drained him when he was trying to do something to that level of physical exertion. So that and my version I find to be very, very similar, to where your body's looking for carbs. It's a natural favorite source of energy to keep you going, and these diets just aren't giving you enough. So, um, 30% of people in this survey stated that they did follow a certain diet. 30% said that they don't follow a certain diet, but they just try to watch what they eat. 30% of people don't care at all, which I find highly relatable. It's hard to care when you're in school. And 10% of people are wishy-washy, so they're on and off whether they diet or don't. So we've gone over some of the examples of the diet trends and the benefits of them and the major drawbacks of them. Um, so I'd like to say that some of these diets aren't reasonable for college students. Um, so my approach would be is you, you eat to satisfy your hunger every day. Think about all the nutritious foods that you don't eat. Do you eat fruit? Do you get enough vegetables? Something like that. Um, Take your favorite meal that you're having for lunch and add a side to it. Make sure you're getting a vegetable every day. Make sure you're getting a fruit every day. Instead of these bad snacking habits we have, maybe every once in a while carry some trail mix. It sounds stupid and simple, but this is the most realistic way I've been able to go through it. So there's some other diets that have some drawbacks. The most healthy diets, vegan and vegetarian, there's almost nothing wrong with these diets, right? But if you like to have energy and you like to build muscle and have more strength, you are going to have a decrease in muscle tone and muscle in the overall state. But a lot of the most extremists could argue with that, because some of these things that the animals eat are all um, plants. So, that's one I am finning to lose if I go into it with a vegan. um, so let's see. Emily Morgan, a well, uh, not a well known, but a dietitian that I found online, believes that there are no room for restriction when you're practicing wellness, and that lacking in carbs will potentially lead to um, uh, heavy carb cravings and eventual um, binging on foods that are exactly what you weren't supposed to avoid. So, kind of like what I was talking about before. Uh, so, if you start seeking out nutrient dense foods like some of these fruits and vegetables, nuts and legumes, and start putting that into your intake just a little by little every day, you will naturally feel fuller. And instead of cutting out stuff, you are going to naturally start eating less of those bad foods. So, um, in my survey, the majority stated that what they eat isn't important to them. And I agree. It's not what you eat, it's what you're not eating. So, um, I don't disagree with you guys. I'm doing this speech for college students. So, that's exactly why I'm doing this speech today, is trying to stray you away from some of these extremist diets. It is not the time to focus on that, and they're not all that great for you, anyways. So, um, strict extreme diets are not exactly realistic when you're in school. The National Library of Medicine reports that about 37% of people actually have regular meals when they're in school and fall into bad snacking habits. So, majority of students don't eat breakfast in this study, and I would say that meal prepping and cooking and shopping for these foods aren't exactly the best idea when you have to worry about all the stuff we have to worry for when we're in school. So I want you to picture counting your calories, tracking your macros, reading the nutritional facts on every single thing you buy and eat when we also are at this time studying and trying to get all our assignments done day to day while we're in school. It doesn't sound like a very successful picture to me. One or the other is going to go out the window. Now, picture eating lunch and thinking to yourself, what can I add to this lunch to make it better and more nutritious? Can I add a fruit to this? Can I get a salad with this? No cutting out whatsoever. Just eat your meals and throw in the fruits and the vegetables. Um, have a protein shake every day and grab some trail mix. And that's about the best thing that I say that we can do right now. Oh, extreme diets may be the answer for some people. If you got the time, the money, and the energy to do it, go ahead and do it. Right now, we got to go ahead and get through school. So that's about all I have to say today. Thank you so much for listening.